Hello aspirants, looking at current affairs for 5th November 2016. The news items which we have picked up from the Hindu for today are these 9. We'll discuss each of them in detail. The first one, face-off at Leh ends as India finishes work on irrigation project. So we saw this in news yesterday too, that the Chinese army had come very close to the LAC because of an irrigation project which has been taken up on the Indian side under MGNREGA, that is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. So this is an irrigation project to provide irrigation facilities to the villages through the hot spring. So this project has been protested against. Chinese side says that if any project is undertaken very close to the boundary, then the other side has to be intimated. So that is the reason why the face-off was initiated. But then Indian side says that such an intimation is required only if the project is defense related and not otherwise. So this was the stand of India. But presently the news is, this was the news yesterday. Now the news is that this project has been declared completed and the face-off has ended. Even the National Security Advisor of India, Mr. Doval, and the Chinese counterpart would meet in Hyderabad presently. So we'll be hearing more about India-China relations too because of these meetings. So this is the stand. Now the one important aspect which we need to understand here is the dispute was across the LAC. So this is Demchok, you can see in Jammu and Kashmir. Below it is Himachal Pradesh. But when you look at the map here, you can see this is POK, Pakistan Occupied Kashmir, on the western side. This is the LOC, line of control. And this red line which you see is the LAC. And this eastern part of Jammu and Kashmir is also not under India. This is Aksai Chin region, which is illegally occupied by China after the 1962 India-China war. So this line is called the LAC, line of actual control. So the line of actual control as such reaches till here, but as you see the red line goes further because sometimes and most often LAC is considered to be the entire boundary between India and China. The reason being that the actual international border is decided by McMahon line. The western side line, India-Pakistan international border, is called Radcliffe line. And India-China international border is called McMahon line. These are named after the commissions which are set up by the Britishers at the time of independence. So there was Radcliffe Commission and McMahon Commission. So these were the chairmen then. So they decided the boundary between the nations. So actually to decide the boundary for India as a nation too. The reason being that because in Pakistan and India both were under British rule, so the line is acceptable. But on Chinese side, it is said that China does not accept this McMahon line because it was unilaterally decided by the Britishers. They say we were not taken into confidence. So that is the reason why there are disputes between India and China with respect to territories. And also this line, the India-China border, runs up to Arunachal Pradesh. So Arunachal Pradesh is also a disputed area according to China. China claims it to be part of southern Tibet. So the reason being that this line was decided by Britishers through this McMahon Commission, McMahon line, not acceptable to the Chinese. So that is the case. That's why this is also called LAC. Then the next news item is Dhruv deal with Ecuador crash lands. So the Dhruv helicopters have been indigenously developed by India. It is HAL, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, along with French company Turbomeca have together developed HAL, and the engine used here is Shakti engine. It has been inducted into the Indian Armed Forces. Around 200 Dhruv helicopters are in service today in India as well. India has also exported these helicopters to many countries which are like Nepal, Maldives, Mauritius and Ecuador. Ecuador is a country in South America. So we had signed a deal to provide HAL's Dhruv helicopter to Ecuador. So 5 of these were provided to Ecuador in 2009. 2 were handed over in 2011, and we have a complete contract for their maintenance and providing spares. But in Ecuador, we saw that 4 of the HAL helicopters have crash landed. So the reason being that for 2 it is said to be pilot's error, for 1 it is a mechanical failure, and for the last one the reasons are still not clear. So now Ecuador has decided to sell off the remaining 3 helicopters, and it has unilaterally terminated the contract with HAL in 2015 October. So this is the case. Presently the news is that the HAL has gone ahead and filed a case against this initiative in a local court in Ecuador. So that has what has happened. Ecuador says that it was non-compliance on the part of HAL not providing spares and maintenance as expected in the contract. That is the reason why we are terminating the contract. HAL on its part has come up with a compromise too. It said that we would also extend the contract and provide maintenance beyond the terms decided in the contract. Free maintenance would also be provided, but Ecuador is adamant they don't want to have Dhruv in service anymore. So that is the news. So it is a little bad news for India too, as export of this helicopter would also suffer. So there have been cases of crashes even in India. In the last 10 years, it is said that around 16 Dhruv helicopters have crash landed. So that is a fact. Then the next news item is MCR1 isolated in India, a further chapter in antibiotic resistance. So MCR1 is a gene which is present in bacteria. So Indian researchers presently have isolated a strain of E. coli bacteria which is carrying this gene MCR1. So this MCR1 gene provides resistance to the last mile antibiotic presently available for humans, that is colistin. So this colistin resistance is found even in India presently and all across the globe in various countries. So this is actually a genetic mutation. So genetic mutation generally would not spread from patient to patient. But then this antibiotic resistance is seen prevalent in entire community. So the reason for this being seen is that this gene is present in a plasmid medium. That is a DNA molecule outside the chromosomal DNA. So this is the reason why infections then spread through hospitals throughout the community. So this has been upheld and shown through the Indian research as well. Then another aspect which was similar case was with NDM1 superbug, which was prevalent and very much in news earlier too. So we'll see that. That is actually an enzyme. New Delhi, it is named after India because it was seen that it has spread through India. So it actually resulted in spoiling the name of India also. So though Indian researchers also protested, but that is the name which has stuck. New Delhi metallolactamase 1. So this is an enzyme which is present in various types of bacteria, and because of this enzyme the bacteria develops antibiotic resistance. So this has also spread. So we'll see this. You can see the spread of MCR1 gene also has been reported from various countries: USA, Canada, South America, parts of Europe, some parts of Africa, and even India. Then this is regarding the antibiotic resistance. So as antibiotic resistance develop from one generation of antibiotics, then another antibiotic is required to be developed. Then as resistance generates for that too, it develops then another one. So this shows how antibiotic resistance has also spread over the years. Then this is regarding NDM1, New Delhi metallolactamase 1 enzyme, which is present in various bacteria, which again provides antibiotic resistance. So this is named after New Delhi because it is said to have been initiated from here. So the countries affected are India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and so far 50 cases have been reported from UK. So these are the regions affected, and this has been named after New Delhi. So patients who visited these countries for surgeries have reported this presence of this superbug and antibiotic resistance even to the last line of antibiotics. So this is what is seen, that this superbug gene is actually capable of replicating itself in various types of bacteria. So that makes it much more dangerous. So this is there. The next news item is Supreme Court to hear petition on making yoga compulsory in schools. So this is regarding a petition being filed in the Supreme Court on making yoga compulsory for students of class 1 to 8. The basis of this petition is also that a California appeals court in USA a year ago had declared yoga as secular and not a means to advance or inhibit Hinduism. So the Supreme Court of India also will hear this plea on whether yoga is a religious ritual or is it a secular practice for good health and dignified life. The petition claims that it is essential for good health and dignified life as required under Article 21. So that is the basis for making it compulsory, and government should be directed to formulate a national yoga policy. So these are the demands, some such demands being made under this petition. So we'll hear more about this because Supreme Court will also give its judgment now. Then the next news item is make enforcement stricter. So this is regarding the Central Pollution Control Board. It had in December 2015 issued a 42-point guideline to all the states and especially northern India to tackle air pollution. So these states have not taken up these initiatives. So that is why now the Union Environment Secretary is calling for special attention to be given to this. So this figure which you see to this map is actually a NASA map from NASA's Earth data, which shows the red regions show the areas where burning or heat areas. So this is the place where burning is taking place as such, that is crop burning. So crop residue burning also, which we have discussed earlier, is seen and is particularly dominant in northern India, as you see. So this is also one of the reasons for pollution. So that is what is highlighted. So even presently Delhi is highly polluted, air pollution is quite high. So initiatives have to be taken. So enforcement has been weak. So Environment Secretary is now calling that states should strictly implement all the guidelines provided by the Central Pollution Control Board. So that is the news. Then the next news item is India-Bangladesh. We have been seeing this earlier too, that many houses in Bangladesh belonging to minority sect, that is the Hindus, have been set on fire. So in this case also no one was injured, but this case incident which happened on 30th October, a mob of around 3,000 Muslims, local Muslims, had attacked and demolished various temples, also vandalized houses of Hindus in that area. Around 100 people were injured then. So even the National Human Rights Commission of Bangladesh is looking into the matter. So that was all the controversy arose because of a Facebook post by a local Hindu young fellow, and he later apologized too, plus he said that his account was hacked and it was not him who had written those posts, but the tensions have erupted and we see such attacks taking place. Then the next news item is Turkey wants India to start free trade pact talks soon. So Turkey is very keen on initiating FTA, free trade agreement, between India and Turkey. So that is, the proposal has been put forth and talks have to be initiated. So Turkey is very keen on this, but the fact is that India-Turkey economic trade has gone drastically low. Exports from both sides have declined. The reason for this being, one of them is the coup, a military coup which took place in Turkey recently, COUP. That is an attempt by the military to fall down the government and have its own government in place. So this happened in July 2016 in Turkey, and post this the President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has come very strongly against all those who were involved in the coup. So many on suspicion to have been suspended, even administrative officers, the civilians, even some organizations linked with this. Even in India, the Turkish government had made a proposal request that all such organizations have to be stopped. The funding to them and allowing them to operate has to be stopped. So such were the strong actions also which we saw post this. So this has put the entire country in a political turmoil. So of course its trade is affected, but Turkey claims that still the trade has been catching up. There is no problem despite the political turmoil. In Turkey's economy is doing quite well. So Turkey is also a gateway to EU. Because it has a custom union agreement with EU. So based on that too, Turkey wants India to start talks on a proposal for an FTA. So that is the demand. So this is the coup too which happened in July, but it failed. But then post the coup, the people involved or suspected to be involved are being drawn down heavily. If you look at Turkey too, Turkey is actually a Eurasian country. It lies in both, or rather it connects Europe and Asia. So this is Europe, Istanbul here, capital of Turkey is Ankara presently. So this is Turkey and this is the Asian part. You can see Iran, Iraq, Syria. So they are connected by Turkey. So Mediterranean Sea lies south and Black Sea in the north of Turkey. Then the next news item is Global Conservation Team visits Odisha's Bhitarkanika Park. So this is a team of IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature, which declares the red data list and declares whether species are endangered, critically endangered, vulnerable or extinct. So that is IUCN. This has been deputed by UNESCO. So UNESCO has asked IUCN to visit, its technical team to visit Bhitarkanika National Park and give its assessment. So this is the reason for this being that UNESCO wants to induct, or rather India wants UNESCO to induct Bhitarkanika National Park into its list of World Heritage Sites. So that is the reason why. So this has been put under the tentative list too in 2009, but then it has made its way to the final list too, but it has not become a World Heritage Site yet. So it is already a Ramsar Convention site. So Ramsar Convention on Wetlands. So Bhitarkanika National Park has a unique mangrove ecosystem. So that is the reason why, and getting a World Heritage Site status will result in it getting more funding and more acknowledgement. Tourism will also enhance and conservation efforts would also enhance. So that is why India is keen to get this World Heritage Site tag. So presently this park will be visited, and the government and international agency both will work together to ensure that this technical team gets all the support. So it is a unique ecosystem too, and it is said to be highly dynamic as well as a fragile ecosystem. So it has also crocodile population. So even crocodile conservation project was initiated in Bhitarkanika, and now it has good crocodile population too. If you look at Bhitarkanika too, it is very close to Wheeler Island too. Wheeler Island is the place where integrated test range for missiles of India is located. So this green part which you see is Bhitarkanika National Park. Wheeler Island lies here. Now it is known as Abul Kalam Island too, after the former president of India. So this is the Paradip port up here. We also saw earlier, this is an image of Gahirmata beach where olive ridley turtles also lay their eggs during the breeding season. So this nesting beach is also very close. You can see Paradip port is here, and this is the Gahirmata beach. So Paradip port here also you see here, and Bhitarkanika National Park, though not shown in the second map, is here only. So all these sites are closely located in Orissa. So the rivers here too, Dhamra is the place here, and the rivers here, you can see Mahanadi river flowing out, Rushikulya river lies here. So this is sometimes it is also important from geography perspective. So this is Abul Kalam. We also said about Wheeler Island. Abul Kalam Island, integrated test range for missiles of India, is located on this island. It's a small island. It's around 2 kilometers in length, around 1.6 square kilometers in area. Right, and the nearest port is Dhamra port. And the last news item is zebrafish offers hope for spinal cord repair. So zebrafish is a fish which can completely regenerate its severed spinal cord. So if spinal cord is injured, it completely gets regenerated. So scientists are looking for how this is possible. They have also pointed out to a particular protein which is said to be the key element which is resulting in this regeneration process, and that protein or growth factor is called CTGF, connective tissue growth factor. So this is the protein, but then this protein is also present in humans. So human CTGF protein is 90% similar to zebrafish protein, but then it does not seem to be taking place in humans. So of course there are other factors to involve. So researchers are looking for what are the factors involved so that it can be replicated in humans too, and spinal cord can be regenerated. So that is the research going on presently. So that is in news. Zebrafish is this small fish which you generally see in fish ponds or in aquariums. So that is it for today. Thank you.